Hey there guys, this is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke. This has been announced for a while, and news has been kind of trickling on and on about it, but I figured I should go ahead and talk about it since I haven't yet, especially considering what it may mean for the future of the crossover games with this company and this franchise. But a new game was announced by Tecmo Koei called Musou Stars. It's basically like a giant like Dynasty Warriors game with like characters from all the different kinds of Tecmo Koei games. Like so far, and I'm not going to get every single character because they've already announced like a fair amount of characters, but so far, some of the characters they've announced have been like Zhao Yun from Dynasty Warriors, which is pretty essential. He's like the poster boy of Dynasty Warriors. Yuki Morasada from Samurai Warriors, again, poster boy. So also pretty essential. Plus, he's awesome. Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, which of course makes sense because he was in Warriors Orochi 3, as well as, Tecmo and Team Ninja are part of Koei because, Tecmo Koei. Also, Kasumi, and I think also Ayane from Dead or Alive, as well as actually Honoka and Marie Rose from Dead or Alive 5. So we've already got 4 from them, and just for those who care, Lubu's also been, I think, teased as well, which he's pretty essential too. He's like the Broly or the Sephiroth or the Barbados of Dynasty Warriors. I don't think Samurai Warriors has an equivalent. Let's see who else. Wang Yangji, the chick from the Jin faction of Dynasty Warriors, the blonde chick with like the daggers. She's in the game. I think a couple of characters from the Atelier series. Also, one of the characters from the Tokiden series. That chick with like the white cloak, I think, and like the long katana, I believe. And they're also going to have some original characters. Recently, they revealed a character named Tamaki, who's like this fox chick. She, in terms of her design, she actually she stands out a little bit from the Dynasty Warriors cards. She fits along in with more like the Atelier aesthetic, I think. Because like for those characters that are more anime, they are using like their kind of style. I think they're even using a little bit of cell shading. So we're actually getting a little bit of a mix of character styles and like art designs and like different like CGI shading techniques and whatnot. Also, I believe her name is Millennia from the Kagero Deception series. I think from like the second one, if I remember correctly, which is like some sort of like game where like you set traps and whatnot. I think it's the second game. Also, Rio from Rio Rainbow Gate, which is like this poker series that got a anime that I actually think Media Blasters is dubbing, or they did dub it recently or something. But she's going to be in it. Also, one thing that actually kind of has me sort of interested a little bit, even though I know next to nothing about this series, just besides listening to the character songs, is that a couple of characters from the 6th Haruka Naru Toki no Nakade game, which is, Haruka Beyond the Stream of Time, I think is what the manga was called in English. But the characters, the blue-haired guy, from the latest game, as well as I think his name is Dalrius or something, or Darius. He's like this blonde guy. I'm pretty sure they're both from the 6th game. I haven't really kept up too much with it. I've mainly been interested in the 4th game, so hopefully we'll get like Kazuhaya or something, who is another blue-haired guy in that game. I think also Mitsunari Ishida from Samurai Warriors was also revealed. So basically, this is just like a giant mishmash of all the Tecmo Koei franchises in like one big Warriors game. Obviously, there's some other characters that they're going to announce. In fact, one thing kind of interesting is that although I haven't made the video about it yet, they are actually going to include one of the new characters from Dynasty Warriors 9. Hint, hint. His name is Joe Kong, I believe. And also, I actually looked it up while I was pausing so I could get the release date. For those who, the full list so far, for Altair, it's Platia and Sophie. And like I said, with Dead or Alive, Honoka, Kasumi, and Marie Rose. Deception, Millennia. Dynasty Warriors, Wang Yangji, Zhao Yun, and Joe Kong, like I said. from Dynasty Warriors 9. Naru, Toki no Nakade's Darius, and Hajime Arima. I'm pretty sure they're both from the 6th game. Ninja Gaiden, Ryu Hayabusa. A series called Opuna. I think that's supposed to be sort of like a retro. Oh no, never mind. I just clicked on it was on the Wii. That was also another Koei game, but Opuna from Opuna is going to be in the game, and Rio from Rio Rainbow Gate, and of course Mitsunari Ishida and Yukimura Sanada from Samurai Warriors, and from Tokiden the characters Horo and Oka. So that's the full list that I got off of Wikipedia so far. They may have announced a few more. And the game's going to be coming out for PS4 and the Vita in Japan March 2nd, 2017. So that's actually not too far away. Still no English localization announcement, which is a bit unfortunate. I really hope they do bring it out, because I feel like this currently is like, it's basically Warriors Orochi 4. Not technically. They've already said that they're not going to include every single character, because that's just too many characters, although that would be really cool. And they also said that there were going to be guest characters from other that aren't normally in, if I'm remembering the article right. I'll try to find that article again and link it in the show notes for those who want to read up more about like what they're planning. But they did say that they're not going to include every like Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors character, because that's already like, especially with Dynasty Warriors, that's already like over like 90 characters. Over, I think it's like 80 or 90 characters. And I think also the same with Samurai Warriors. But I think this is a pretty cool. From what we've seen of the gameplay trailers so far, some of the characters are being tweaked a little bit. Yukimura and Zhao Yun in particular. To me, it looked like they were using like their latest styles while having some like original attacks. Like Yukimura has like this fire dragon thing, and Zhao Yun has like this blue dragon thing. It's like, oh, parallels. And I was concerned a little bit that Kasumi and like other characters who were from Warriors Orochi, I think I made a mistake. I don't think Ayane is actually in the game yet. I think it's just Kasumi and Honoka Marie Rose. I might have to double check on that. I was concerned that since she was already in Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate, I believe. And yeah, I just looked. Ayane has not been confirmed yet. I imagine she may, because I feel like since she's already been in Warriors Orochi, it would probably make sense. I think they may be trying to pick characters who have maybe already been in this kind of battle system, I think. But I was concerned with like Kasumi in particular, because Honoka, Marie Rose are using a unique, like obviously, since they're new characters, new, combos and whatnot, and they fight with their fists. And whereas I believe Kasumi, she fought with like this ninja sword or something. Because Dynasty Warriors and like Samurai Warriors and whatnot, they had martial arts, but they were primarily weapons, especially at that time when it was Dynasty Warriors 7 and Samurai Warriors 3, which this one is going to have. It's Dynasty Warriors 8 and Samurai Warriors 4. Obviously, also Joe Kong from Dynasty Warriors 9. But so far, other than that, no one from like Dynasty Warriors 9. They're probably just going to have him, and I don't think they're probably not going to do anything for Samurai Warriors 5 either, if they're even planning that far ahead, which I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how far back they go with this. They may go back pretty far, depending. I mean, if they're bringing in, I guess I know technically it's from the 6th game, but Harukunaru Toki no Nakade, like that's a bit obscure, at least in my opinion. And Rio Rainbow Gate, I don't think has gotten like a new game in a while. I think the anime was like the last thing they did. Obviously, some of these other games have continued onward. And I think Opuna, I keep wanting to say Epona for some reason. I think Opuna was just like a standalone game. I'd have to look back because I just kind of glanced at the Wikipedia page really quickly. But anyway, to get back to my point, Kasumi with her new, she's using a new battle system with her fists, and so I was glad that they are at least updating characters, seemingly updating characters who have already been in Warriors games to like fix up their battle system. Also, to go back to the point about the guest characters, it sounded like they were going to include characters from other game franchises that haven't been in a Warriors game or had a Warriors game before, because I remember in Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate, Sophitia from Soul Calibur was in there just randomly. And they could maybe do that again. That'd be cool if they brought her back. I'd love to see a Tails character, like maybe Lloyd or something. Obviously, I'd love to see like Reed or Ash or something, but I imagine it's probably going to be either Lloyd or Velvet or Cress or Yuri or Jude or Mila or Saray or something. Maybe the next Tails game will be announced by the time we get into like February or March or whatever. Like, of course, if we get to March, it'll be kind of too late because it's coming out March 2nd. But maybe then we'll get word of the next big Tails game and like it's some big promotion. The next big Tails character will be in Musou Stars. But either way, I'd love to see like another Tails character. Or maybe go through in Dragon Ball. There are all different kinds of possibilities. I don't think they're going to go too far out of their realm with things. I don't think they're going to include like someone who doesn't like belong. Someone from Dragon Ball probably wouldn't necessarily fit. I would love it, but I think Tails probably makes more sense. And they may pick games that have already had like a Dynasty Warriors like game anyway or similar anyway. I don't think it's going to be anime necessarily. They're probably just going to stick with games, which I think is fine. Again, I'll have a link in the description to the article in question where there's more detail about what they're planning, so you can fact check for yourself, and I'll probably fact check for myself after recording this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now, if this game does come out in English, I'm a little concerned on how they're going to work with the name. Like, what are they going to call it? Star Warriors or Warrior Stars or Warriors All-Stars? I think Warriors All-Stars would probably be, like, the most appropriate thing to do if they're just going to keep alter the name. I feel like they could maybe get away with Musou Stars. Because I feel like, when you go online, when you type in, like, Musou game or something, like, I think people know, like, what the Musou games are. Like, people know that, like, when you say Musou, you're talking about a Dynasty Warrior style game. That, especially considering, in Japan, they're called Musou games anyway, so. And if you go to, like, forums, like, any kind of forum at all, whether or not it's a Tecmo Koei themed forum or just a random forum, some people will refer to it as Musou. Some people will refer to it as Dynasty Warriors or just Warriors. I usually just go with Warriors. Musou is also appropriate, though. So, I think Musou Stars, for the sake of fan service, would actually be pretty appropriate if they were to bring it over here, which I think they probably will, because they are bringing over some stuff. In terms of characters I'd like to see from other Tecmo games, I think maybe Arnice or the new chick from Knights of Azure 2 would be cool, just for the sake of another guest representative, or maybe Liner. I think yeah, from Artonalico, or the guy from Arno Surge. Because I really liked Artonalico. It was from what I played, because I never did finish it, but I enjoyed what I played. The Aris or whatever, the main guy from Trinity Soul of Zilol would be cool as well. I know they included like that recurring character in Warriors Orochi 3. I don't remember his name, but he had like the spear and whatnot, and I understand like why they did that. As many of like the guest characters from other Tecmo games and other Warriors games, from Warriors Orochi 3, I would love for them to include those, like Achilles from Warriors Legend of Troy. I think that would be really cool. Because then, like, they're sort of, like, doing double duty. I mean, like, I don't know if they consider Warriors Orochi, like, a separate series. I doubt it. Like, I think Musou Stars is supposed to be the Warriors Orochi killer. But other than that, just typical guest character stuff. I'd love Kazuhaya as well from Harukaru Toki no Naka Def 4. And Jahodun or Sakon Shima or Naomasa-e or other characters from the Warriors games that I'd love to see. Goku. And they're not going to put Goku in. But Lloyd or someone from the Tails series would be cool. If they brought Sophitia back, that would also be cool. Just put in as many... Truth be told, I would love it if they included everybody. Even if it ended up being DLC and you had to pay for it. But like at the end of it, it was like everybody. That'd be cool. I'm definitely gonna pick it up on PS4 if it does come out in English. It'll probably have online play as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Been wanting to make this video for a while. Sorry it took so long, but we're getting closer to the release of it, and so hopefully we'll get some more info on it to make us want it more, and then it'll come out in English. I think they're also doing like remixes of. Obviously, they're probably gonna do remixes of the songs because in the Zhao Yun trailer I heard Arena. I'm like, that sounds cool, and it sounded a little different, but it'll be interesting to see how the story is too. It's probably gonna be pretty convoluted, as these crossover things tend to be, but it'll still be fun nonetheless. And I imagine it won't be dubbed either, because dubbing all those characters. Actually, you know what? It actually might be easier to dub everybody, because there won't be as many characters in theory. At the same time, though, it being a Warriors game, they're going to fill the cast pretty heavily. And some of them may not have English voices. Either that or some of them have English voices that are hard to get due to being outside of Los Angeles. I know that at this point that's probably easier to pull off now, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on it. So I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be cool if we get it. This is Flames Orochi, Tasuke signing out. See you later.